What's up, you guys? Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I am in our bedroom right now, and so the background's a little different. I feel like every single video it's different now, but I'm hoping this will be the background from now on. This is a chair we're gonna use to feed our baby once she's here. And sorry if this is a little distracting, we have our TV right there, but honestly, this is all I can do right now. So just bear with me, and hopefully that's not distracting with the light. But I have a few videos I want to make today, so I'm going to be recording multiple videos back to back. But this one is going to be a video about things I did not know before getting pregnant. Obviously, there's a lot of things you hear about, so I'm not going to cover like everything that I knew, but I'm going to talk about the things that I really did not know much about until I became pregnant. I'm also already out of breath, which is something I knew but did not expect to happen to me so much. And I actually think it was worse earlier on than right now, which is because the baby girl has dropped a little bit, but it's very weird. So I'm just going to get in this video. I do have a list written down because pregnancy brain is also a real thing and I cannot remember all of this. So if you see me looking down, that is why. I'm gonna start off with, I had absolutely no motivation very early on in the pregnancy. If you have watched any of my other videos, you know I used to do a lot of DoorDash, a lot of stuff like that. I would post very frequently, like at least 2 times a week, if not 3 times a week, DoorDash videos. And that really changed in the first trimester for me, especially because I was really sick in the very beginning, very nauseous. Driving around, I would get really nauseous before I even found out I was pregnant. And it just really affected me working, and I was really tired in the beginning, so I really just watched a lot of TV, did not post as much, did not go live as much, and just did not do as much. And I will say that that has continued throughout most of my pregnancy, even in the second trimester. A lot of it has to do with posting on here actually, because I just could not motivate myself to do it. And I will say that my motivation is probably better in the third trimester for some weird reason than in the first or second. I don't know why, but it was really bad early on and really affected me mentally. And even now it still affects me mentally because I'm like very stressed about things, but I try to just not be as stressed about it and just let myself have leeway, but it's really hard. I know I'm pregnant, but I still am like, I just want to get stuff done and be successful. So it's been really tough. Something else for me, which people always talk about cravings. For me, it's not that I have really weird cravings. I've mostly craved sweet things and salty things, and that's about it. I craved a lot of fruit in the beginning, not as much now, but a lot of fruit. But for me, it's just so hard to say no to cravings. Like, I don't know what it is. I feel like people don't really say that, like how hard it is to actually say no to cravings, which I can, but I will tell you more times than not, I will be saying yes to cravings, which I don't feel great about, not at all, but it's just been something I have not been able to control well, and I don't know why. Anyone else like that? I really don't know. I don't know why. It's just so hard. Something else is that I feel like before I got pregnant, I didn't really understand about like the weight gain, what's normal, what's not normal, how different it can be for everyone. Some people barely gain any weight at all. Some people gain a lot more weight. I am definitely one of the people that have gained a lot more weight. Not everyone gains 20 pounds. But I will say I was more on the pretty thin side. My range was really different. I was between like 115 to 125 usually. So usually about 120. I've gained about like 40-ish pounds, which for me, doctors are not concerned. But I will say it's definitely been hard on myself because I'm like, why am I gaining so much weight? But then take it back to my cravings, and I eat so many of my cravings. It kind of makes sense. It's because I eat so much food now and it's hard for me to say no. So I'm gaining a lot of weight, and I just worry about losing it. So it's just something I feel like people don't really talk about. I feel like most people gain around 20, 25 pounds or even 30. And I mean, people gain more than that. Some people gain, you know, over 50, 60. And I just feel like that's not as common or not as talked about. So not everyone gains the same amount of weight, and don't feel terrible about yourself, because I definitely did feel really bad, and I still do sometimes, and it's really hard. So something else that really has bothered me, especially in the very beginning, but then more so later on, is constantly worried something is wrong with me or the baby. If you did not know, I've been to the hospital I've been to the hospital twice to get her checked out. Been to my birthing center once around 27 weeks to get her checked out. And then I had gone to the ER, but that was because I was really sick and I ended up having lovely corona. So that wasn't really having anything to do with her, but still went there because we were nervous about her as well. So I've gone a handful of times, about 4 times, and I always feel like, not always, but especially not at this point, I actually am feeling a little better, but between like 26 and 35 weeks really was bad for me. I was always nervous. If her movement seemed a little different, I was nervous. That's the reason I always would go in, is decreased movement, because I just felt like she wasn't moving much or not really at all, and everything was always fine, which was awesome. I'm so glad. But I was always so nervous, and I just did not realize that would be me. Like, I never thought that I'd be freaking out that something could be wrong with her like 24/7. So it's really scary growing another human that you obviously care so much about and want them to be as healthy as possible, and not being able to see them inside of yourself. So you're just like, what is going on in there? I have no idea. And so you also don't get many ultrasounds. So there's not really that reassurance of like, oh, I'll get an ultrasound to see her, and like, oh, I just had one the other day and she was fine. It's not like that. Not for me. I had 2 plus the one at the hospital, because I did do one when I went in. That's it. And a 3D one we paid for, or 5D or whatever we paid for. That's it. And I really think they should do more just to make sure, because things can go wrong later on. So, not trying to scare you, but I don't get why we only have 2 ultrasounds for low risk pregnancies. It's just weird to me. Another thing is, when I always heard about stretch marks, I always just thought of stretch marks being on my stomach. I don't know why. I guess I never looked into it, but I actually don't have any stretch marks on my stomach as of now. I'm 37 weeks and 4 days, and I obviously know that can change, but I have them in other places, okay? I have them on my lovely, can I say that on YouTube? My lovely lady bits, whatever, right up here, and then on my hips. And that's it, really. But it's just not what I was expecting. I was expecting them on my stomach. Not that I'm sad I don't have them, but I am still kind of anticipating them. And I also didn't realize how much genetics plays into that. In the very beginning, I bought some belly butter, which I still use. Even if it doesn't do anything, I still use it to stay moisturized on my stomach almost every night. But my mom did not get stretch marks on her stomach, so I really don't think I will, but I might, I don't know. So I just know genetics play a lot more in it than I had realized. And I mean, I'm happy about that, but also I still have stretch marks, just not in places that you will see. So it's kind of weird. It's really weird. Early on, I had a lot of bleeding in my nose, not like heavy bleeding or anything, but I would like scratch my nose or blow my nose and there would just be blood in, like, it's kind of gross, but like in my boogers. It was really weird. And it was really bad in the first trimester, along with my gums being very, very bloody. That doesn't really happen too much now. My nose barely ever happens. It kind of just stopped. But my gums still have a little bit of bleeding when I floss, but not nearly as bad as in the first trimester. It was really insane, actually. And I had no idea that that happened. But of course, now that I'm pregnant, I see other people talk about that too. But it's like, I just did not know about that until I was pregnant. I also have been very congested and sneeze a lot. Something very strange with me, and I don't know if I'm allergic to something or what, but when I shower and right after I get out of the shower, I have to sneeze multiple times and I don't know why. And then I'm very congested. I don't know why. I've never had that happen. It did not really happen in my first trimester or even my second. It's been more of a third trimester thing, but I was very congested early on. So I bought a humidifier and I do think that helped a lot, because whenever we do not have that running, I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, cannot breathe well, and it's just been a nightmare. And that was never something that happened to me, and I don't really have allergies, so it's just been really strange. Something else is that obviously you cannot fit into your clothes, but what I will say is that I expected myself to buy more maternity clothes. Honestly, I've bought like not much at all. A couple of things I've bought did not end up liking because I bought it online and it was hideous. Both of those were maternity pants. One was a pair of maternity jeans, hideous. And then leggings that were like they weren't even leggings. I don't even know what they were. They were hideous and I have not worn them out in public at all because they look horrible. So I wear about the same 5 shirts, obviously washed. I do a lot of laundry. This is one of them, and this is actually a gift from Johnny. So he got me three maternity shirts that I love. They're super comfy, and I go through these all the time. All the time, different colors. And then I have the same 3 pairs of pants. They're all sweats. So I am actually very grateful that it is winter because I'm just wearing sweats, and I do have some shorts that I wear because I sleep in shorts, but they're just not like out in public shorts that I would wear, if that makes sense. Like I wouldn't wear them out in public. I have a couple I would wear out in public when it's hot, but I don't wear it very often, and they're just not very cute. Like I was expecting myself to try a lot more than I have. I rarely ever do makeup. Like when I say rarely, I mean like once a month is pushing it. I don't even know if I would say once a month. Today I did my eyebrows and my mascara, and that's it, and that is so rare unless there's a special occasion like Valentine's Day. Like we just had Valentine's Day, or my birthday, which was also just very recently, like not even 2 weeks ago, or Christmas, Thanksgiving. Those are the times that I wear makeup and actually try. Other than that, you will not be seeing me in makeup, and I just do not care at all. I don't care if we're going out to dinner. I'm not gonna wear makeup. I'm too tired. It's too much of a hassle, and I don't want to deal with it. Ooh, she's moving a lot right now. Another thing I was not expecting is, I was expecting it, but it's so much different than what I thought. So feeling her move is totally different than I would have thought. I was always kind of weird about that. I thought I would hate it, to be honest with you, and I know that sounds bad, but I'm very squeamish. I hate the thought of my insides, like intestines and stuff. And in the beginning, I was kind of creeped out by it, but I've grown to not mind it at all. I mean, I can feel her little feet because I know exactly how she is. She's always been pretty much in the same position for a while now, and I think it's so cool. So for me, that was a very exciting thing that was different, just because I was probably one of the odd ones out who was not really looking forward to feeling their baby much, but it's definitely changed. But then to go along with that, I have had so many different aches and pains. I've actually been going to a chiropractor 3 times a week for the past couple months now because I had severe pain in my hips and my upper back, and my upper back has, oh my gosh, it has been magical. My chiropractor is actually very great, and my upper back is so much better. I still have some pain, especially my right hip, and I think he said it's like my GI joint. I think that's what it's called. That was so bad. I mean, I don't lay on my back to sleep, obviously, but I even just tested it out and laid on my back on the ground, just trying to be flat. Oh my God. It is the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my back ever. And never had that before. It's because I think your body is just changing so much, and the added weight and just everything. And I know that happens to people, but God, it was so bad. And I will say it's gotten better. That's gotten a little better as well. Not as much as my upper back, because that was really bad and I just could not get it better. And going to the chiropractor so much has definitely helped, but I was just not expecting all of the changes in my back and just my body, and just feeling not myself when it comes to like pain and stuff. It just was so strange. So also I want to say that you always hear about postpartum depression, and I'm not going to say that I had like depression or like, I forgot what it's called, like, but like pre-postpartum depression. I wouldn't say that, but there are days that I feel like very down about myself and just about the world, and kind of just, I just feel super overwhelmed a lot of the times. And it does worry me for postpartum. Like, I hope I don't have any issues, but honestly, I have no idea what's gonna happen. So I'm just trying to stay positive. But I do think that's also because I've been so unmotivated, like I already said. So it's really affected me mentally, because it's not how I am. And I just feel like I've changed a lot in that aspect when it comes to like working and making money. I'm a lot more like baby focused, and like I feel like motherly, even though she's not here. If that makes sense, I don't know. But I just don't feel like myself. I'm not much of a crier. I cry all the time. The 3rd trimester is kicking my butt, which, I mean, I expected, but not really, okay? People say you're overly emotional, but I mean, Johnny and I drove past a cemetery the other day. I started crying, okay? Because people were driving out of the cemetery, and I just felt bad for them. Like, I just felt really bad for them. Johnny was telling me a story about a homeless man that he gave money to, and I started crying, and like, I don't know. I cry all the time, but then again, I cry about myself too, like with my body changing and just like my mentality and stuff and how I feel. I cry about my dog dying. She's not dead, but I cry about her dying one day, and it's like so many different things I cry about that just really suck, and I don't want to cry about them anymore. And I can't wait to not be pregnant because these hormones are kicking my butt. And the last thing that I want to talk about, which I'm sure there's other things, like I 100% sure, I can kind of think of a couple things, but I don't really feel like making this super long video. But the last thing is that everyone hears about nesting. I mean, I kind of heard about it. I didn't really know what to expect, but I gotta tell you, it is so real for me. I know not everyone experiences it, but I think more people do than don't. And I swear it hit me a lot earlier than most people. I mean, I started wanting to do things at like 26 weeks. I was cleaning a lot, which I had a lot more energy back in those days, so I'm glad I got some stuff done. But like, I wanted to wash all of her clothes back then, which I didn't, thankfully, because, you know, I don't want to wash them too soon. But everything's clean now, put away, and I just have days where I'm like, it's a mess, even if it's not a super bad mess, but I'm like, it's a mess. We need to deep clean this place. We don't have much time. Like, I need to reorganize. I've reorganized her her diaper area and just a bunch of stuff I keep over here multiple times. I wiped it down a couple times. It's fresh. I've done it within the past week, and I'm really happy about that. But it is such a weird feeling, and I'm glad though, but at the same time, it's very annoying. Like, I want everything to be clean, and if it's not, then sometimes I get like kind of angry about it. And it's just something really different and hard to deal with for myself. Like, I don't know, but it's also kind of rewarding at the same time. And I like feeling like I'm getting stuff clean, but it's also annoying. Like, I have no energy right now for the most part. So it's annoying feeling like you want to do all these things, but then you're also really tired. So you're like, do I lay down and take a nap? Or do I try to clean? And my sleeping is way off during this pregnancy. So I'm up until like 2 a.m. just sitting in bed, reading, and then wake up super late, and I'm usually cleaning at like 10, 11 p.m. It's really frustrating. So those are the things I was not expecting before I got pregnant that have happened to me. And I feel like there's other things, but a lot of them are things you've probably heard of, so I'm not going to get into it. But let me know if you agree with any of those things, and what are some things that you have not expected if you are pregnant. Because I know we are all different, and I know some of the things I mentioned you probably were already expecting. And also, this is my first pregnancy, obviously, so I was not expecting these things at all. But for future pregnancies, I will obviously be probably expecting some of these things to happen, which at least I will kind of have a heads up now. Oh, it scared me. It's windy outside. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.